Welcome to the 77th edition of Spooky Reviews from Spooky Ventures. This time around I'm looking at the Arrow Blu-Ray release of The House That Screamed. The movie is a 1969 film. It was shot in Spain, but it's the first English language movie made there. That said, some of the lips don't exactly sync to the voices, so I'm not sure whether some of the dialogue was actually overdubbed. Again, it's not all of them. Some do and some don't. Perhaps some dialogue was changed after the movie was shot and overdubbed. I'm just guessing because I really don't know. This was released under several titles. In fact, The House That Screamed was the title only in the United States. The Spanish title translates to The Residence. In other parts of the world, it was called The Finishing School. This disc includes the original full-length version along with the American version. I watched the full-length version, and the title screen on it says The Finishing School. The difference in terms of running time between the two is roughly about 10 minutes. Apparently they edited the movie for US audiences by cutting some scenes that they were afraid would earn it an X rating. I have a hunch it was mostly the shower scene. Again, I didn't watch the other version. The thing is, the girls all wear thin gowns in the shower, so while it probably qualifies much like a wet t-shirt contest by today's standards, the film would probably get at most an R rating, but maybe even PG-13. Any real nudity is very minor and just quick flashes. That said, another scene that perhaps would have been cut is an encounter between two characters in which it's clear that they are having sex, largely because of the sounds we hear, but again, there is no real nudity or any substance there either. On its surface, this feels like a gothic horror tale. It is a period film set in the 1800s and takes place in an old spooky mansion type setting. The scene is a finishing school for girls with troubled pasts. The headmistress is a severe disciplinarian who at times shows that she has a taste for cruelty. Extreme beatings are among the forms of discipline she uses. We find fairly early on that she has a teenage son who lives in the house, but is generally kept away from the girls. We also learn that he has a voyeuristic side to him. The whole dynamic in the school is dark and strange. There are signs of an almost incestuous relationship between the mother and son. There's a senior student who is sort of a protege of the headmistress, who seems even crueler than her mentor. That side of the equation hints at some lesbian elements, but it's never really fleshed out there either. There is also a pattern of sexual encounters set up with a young man who delivers wood once a month. Yes, I get the dirty joke angle of that last part, but I'm not sure that euphemism existed then, so it's probably just a coincidence. The horror in part comes from a sense of menace and general spooky vibe to the whole situation and setting. One girl is killed fairly early though. The audience sees the killing, but the characters all think that she ran away from the school. This is fairly slow moving for a lot of the duration, but it's also fascinating and intriguing. They sprinkle just enough horror and sense of danger in to keep it creepy. Now, without getting into spoilers, I can't go any deeper into the storyline, and I think I really need to talk a bit more about the story. So I'm going to wrap this up and then give everyone who wants to avoid spoilers a chance to shut off the video before I continue. The Blu-ray includes a number of bonus features. Most of them are interviews. Some of those interviews are in English, while others are in Spanish with English subtitles. I found those to be of interest, but not what I would really call captivating. I would definitely consider the film to be captivating and well worth checking out. I would also add that it feels almost Hitchcock-like at times. Now that's all I have for the non-spoiler part of this video. So, if you want to avoid knowing what's going to happen later in the movie, please shut the video off now. I'm going to give you a short period of time to do just that. And that time is running out in just a moment. Okay, at this point, I assume that those of you who are still watching have either seen the movie before or don't have a problem with spoilers. I have to say that I was somewhat surprised to find out that the son was the killer. I could tell that something was a little off with him, but I honestly thought that headmistress, his mother, was probably the one doing the killing. Certainly there is an Oedipus angle to this. And I mentioned Hitchcock earlier, and really I felt that the ending was very reminiscent of Psycho in a lot of ways. The whole lead up to it doesn't really prepare you for the brutality of the final moments, which is kind of cool. It just sort of twists the whole movie around. For those who are still here but have not seen the movie, it turns out that the son has been trying to create a girl like his mother was when she was young. I sort of saw that coming in a way because she keeps telling him that someday he'll meet the girl for him who will be like his mother was when she was younger. I kept thinking, you don't let him leave to meet anyone, and you tell him that none of the girls at the school are good enough for him. How will he ever meet anyone else? So, he kills girls who have traits that remind him of his mother, and then he stitches them all together to create that particular special girl. When his mother is introduced to her, we share her horror. Of course, she has basically created the horror by twisting the mind of her son all of his life. In a lot of ways, he's innocent. His madness keeps him from even understanding that what he has done is wrong. So, the final word is this. The movie is a little slow. It has enough mystery and intrigue to keep you watching, though. And the payoff is so shocking and effective that even if the movie were less interesting, it would still be worth it. I'm very glad that I've gotten to experience this movie. Of course, like Psycho, the shock of the ending will only work once. So, you never get to redo that experience. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.